Once upon a time, there was two lovely, handsome goats. These two very handsome goats were twins, and they lived in beautiful golden pastures. Pastures so golden and tasty that they loved every single day of their glorious lives. Then one day, a traveller passed through. He was a very tall, slender, and crazy looking giraffe. This giraffe's name was George. George really liked the goats. The only reason that I think that he liked the goats is because his name started with G, and have a guess what the goats' names were. They were Jeffrey and not Jim and Gerdip. So everybody's name started with a G. And on top of that, what they were as animals also started as a G. So we had goats,
lambs,
and we had giraffes. Now, because of the height difference, it was very, very difficult for these three to remain good friends. There really was quite a lot of arguing. And the main arguments were because there just wasn't enough space at bedtime. Can you imagine if you're lying in bed with your mummy and daddy and their neck is very long? Well, that's what it was like for the two goats. They lay right at the bottom of the bed, next to George's feet. So can you imagine the smell from a dirty giraffe's feet?
Yeah.
And the poor goats had to smell the feet all day, all night. And whenever they wanted to give George a kiss, there's no way they could get up there because they're so small. George's head was on another bed. In fact, sometimes it felt like it was on another planet. So the two goats decided that they wanted Jeffrey the giraffe to move out of their bed. Well, this caused a really, really bad argument. I mean, why would you want to sleep on your own when you're used to sleeping with somebody? I wouldn't, would you? Well, they both decided that this was the time to give him the bad news, and he didn't take it very well. He cried like a baby. You don't like me. You don't like me because I'm taller than you. Only because I'm skinny and tall. And you think that my feet stink. But my feet don't stink at all. You stink, you gruesome goats. Well, that was it. That was enough. The goats had heard enough, and they built a bed and a bedroom that was small, snug, warm, and had no room even for Geoffrey's top leg up to his knee. But every night, Geoffrey really missed them. So what he did in the night was stick his foot through the door and put it in the sheets with the two goats. So every night, the goats would wake up and think, ugh, I'm dreaming of Geoffrey's feet. Yuck. And they could still smell it in their dreams. And they couldn't understand. But they didn't miss Geoffrey, because Geoffrey was still there in their room with them. Even though they didn't know it, Geoffrey was in their room. His feet was in the room with them. So they decided that night they'd close their bedroom door. And they didn't just close it, they locked it. So from Geoffrey's room, he stuck his foot out right across the hall and hit the door. Oh no, they've shut me out of they've shut me out of their room. Where he was crying. And the two goats were sleeping soundly. Neither of them were worried about anything. But both of them were having this strange dream. They dreamt that they'd lost their best friend. And they both thought to themselves, is my best friend the goat I'm next to? And in their dreams, they thought that no, both of the goats' best friend wasn't each other. They realised that they missed that stink, they missed that smell, and they missed that tall, beautiful, handsome lion. But it wasn't a lion, it was a giraffe, and they really missed him. They missed his foot in the bed, and they missed the cuddles, even though his arms couldn't reach down and cuddle them. So, in their dreams, they decided they wanted Geoffrey to come back, be their friend again, properly. Geoffrey, on the other hand, had disappeared from his room. And when they ran in to tell him how they felt, he'd disappeared. I wonder where he'd gone. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't smell his disgusting feet. So they're thinking he couldn't have gone far. They looked out of the window. And you wouldn't believe it. At the top of the hill they saw a small figure with a long neck and long legs running. And it was so small that it looked like a mouse running. But they knew that Geoffrey was very far away. And they didn't know, as goats, the speed he was running, how they're ever going to catch him. And if he got to the top of the hill, they would never see him again. And all because they were selfish and wanted to have the bed to themselves. So, before they could get to the top, he got to the top of the hill, they decided to set a big fire in their front garden, because that's the only way he would see. So they lit a big fire in the garden and went inside to watch him from upstairs to see if he could see the fire. And as the fire grew, they realised that he couldn't see, and closer he got to the top of the hill. Once he gets to the top of the hill, Geoffrey wouldn't be able to see them. But then the fire spread to the house. They didn't know the stupid goats, the stupid gorgeous goats, had made a fire next to their own house. Can you believe the stupidity? And they were upstairs in their own house, and the downstairs of the house is starting to burn. And the roof is burning, and everything's burning. And in the distance there's a huge fire, and smoke is everywhere. And as Geoffrey's running up the hill, tears flooding down his face, he takes one last look back at the top of the hill and looks down to his old, beautiful house. And oh my God, this house, his old house, is a huge pile of flames. And his heart beats because he realizes that he misses his two gorgeous goat friends. And he's thinking, poor Gerdip is gonna die. He's gonna die. George and Gerdip are gonna die. So, with his long legs, he runs like anything down the hill. Luckily for him, it's down the hill, and he's been running up the hill. And very quickly, after about 2-3 minutes, he gets back to the house. And he looks up at the second floor, and he sees the poor goat screaming, Geoffrey, Geoffrey, we're sorry. We're sorry. We love you. We love your stinky feet. And all we want is for you to come home. Please, please. And he looks up at them in the window and puts his head out. And they come out of the window onto his head. They walk down his neck, walk down his body. Then he bends his legs, and they walk off, and they get on the floor, and they all have a big group hug, and they don't care about the smell of his feet now, because they're having a lovely hug. And Geoffrey puts his neck around both of his friends and gives them a lovely cuddle, and they all realise that even though their house is burned down, that they can build another one and still be close friends and family, even though one is tall and one is small. The end. Close your eyes. Lullaby. Moon pigs will make sweet dreams. I wish you a very good night. Ah, ah, bum bum bum. Ah, bum bum bum. I wish you a very Good night.